everybody, today we're going to find probabilities using the standard normal distribution in Desmos. When we get to Desmos, we'll look at a lot of probabilities. Because we're looking at a standard normal distribution, we use z-scores, and the z-scores just represent how many standard deviations we are from the mean. Because the mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1, it's really easy to use the standard normal distribution. The z-scores will look just like the tick marks that we see on the x-axis, so we'll be able to tell how far away we are from the mean. Positive will be on the right, negative will be on the left. Greater than will shade to the right, less than will shade to the left, and then when we have two numbers, we'll have shading between those two z values. So in Desmos, you have two different ways to get the normal distribution. Maybe the easier of the two is to open the keyboard, go to the functions, then scroll down until you find distributions. You want the normal dist. By default, the normal distribution has a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. So it is bringing in the standard normal distribution when you use this command. Your second choice is to type in normal dist. So NORMALDIST. Once you get to something that Desmos understands, the letters go from italics into regular font. There is an exclamation point right now because Desmos says it needs to know more information. You put a parenthesis, and then it knows that you're talking about standard normal distribution. Later we'll come back and change the mean and the standard deviation, but that's for a later video. Today, we just want to use the standard normal. You can hit the plus sign to zoom in on the normal distribution. This will help you visualize the probabilities that we're finding. The first question we want to do is the probability that z is less than 1.25. We need to click the Find Cumulative Probability, which will open up places for us to enter a min and a max. Because we want less than 1.25, on the max I put in 1.25. Notice this shades everything to the left of 1.25 and it tells us our probability is 0.89435. I would call that 0.8944. Our next problem says the probability that z is greater than 0.47. Because we have greater than, I want to change my min and the max. Now my min is 0.47, but I want it to be anything bigger than that. So on the max, I want to delete my previous value, which will convert that number to infinity when we click away. Now we can see the probability that z is greater than 0.47 is 0.3191775. I would call that 0.3192. The next one says find the probability z is greater than negative 2.3 and less than 1.09. This time we have a value for both the min and the max. For the min, I'll type in negative 2.3. On the max, I'll type 1.09. Now I have a starting place and a stopping place for my shaded region. The area between negative 2.3 and 1.09 is 0.8514. Our next question says find the probability that z is greater than negative 2.18. So you want to think about where is greater. Greater than is bigger. So we go to the minimum and we put negative 2.18. Then I take away the max by deleting and then clicking away. Notice this is a lot of the graph. We're way down on the left at negative 2.18 and we're shading everything to the right. So altogether we see 98.54% as our probability. The next one says find the probability that z is less than negative 2.75. So less than says that negative 2.75 is my maximum. I take away the minimum by deleting it. When I click away, we'll see it converts to negative infinity. This is a small little region, and let me zoom in to show it to you. We call this area a tail region. It's just in the very end part of our distribution. We can see it's a very small amount. It's 0.00297. If I'm giving 4 decimal places, I would say 0.0030 because the 7 rounds the 9, which rounds the 2. Our last one says, let's find the probability that z is between 0.8 and 1.64. So I have a minimum, 0.8. I have a maximum, 1.64. Let's zoom fit so I can see the shaded area. I see my low to my high. This says this is 0.1614. As a quick recap, when you have the probability that z is less than x, x will be the maximum. When you're looking for the probability that z is greater than x, x will be the minimum. And when you have the probability that z is between x1 and x2, x1 is the minimum, x2 is the maximum.